Facebook, Twitter, and all those other good joints. It's Kev from Kevin's Corner, where I try to make some sense out of nonsense. That's right, y'all. It is 7 o'clock, and we're about to get started. And I hope that you have started your week off wonderfully. Hit the like button, share my videos, follow me on the social media platforms outside of YouTube, because you never know what's going to happen on here. Now, if you could be so kind, let me know that you can hear me. So let me see. I'm looking at the chat over here, and I see people saying hi. Beautiful people. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Y'all are so nice. Yep. So if you can hear me, let me know so I can go ahead and get started. I don't want to be wasting words. And while I'm waiting for your response, somebody said sounds good tonight. Great. Okay. Well, then if that's the case, no need to prolong things. Let's get busy. What the? Oh, man. Hold up. There we go. There we go. Mm-hmm. Yup. Beat my chest like a real gorilla. Real gorilla. Real gorilla. There's some kings in the building. Gorillas in here. Gorillas in here. Gorillas in here. Gorillas in here. Yeah, man. Now, if this is your first time joining my show, I do have a Kevin's Corner store with all kind of goodies. So if you want, you can check out the corner store, see what you like. If you like something, go ahead and shop to your heart drops. And also that number right there that you see on the screen, which is 330-974-4607. If you go ahead and text MAGA to that number, you can stay in touch with me just in case some shenanigans go down with YouTube. And I hope that you guys have subscribed to my alternative channel. I haven't checked to see if we made 1,000 yet, but we'll see. I don't want to disappoint myself, man. So if you have not subscribed over there, please do so. And then finally, I do have a monthly fundraiser link that I created, and it is below this video. It helps the channel sustain itself outside of relying on YouTube for all of that good stuff. Now, guys, y'all saw the title. Yeah, man, the left's mad again. Now, last week, we was enjoying some liberal tears. We were enjoying it, and we're going to get to enjoy some more today, because it looks like all we do is win, 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 win. That's all we do. I mean, even when they think we lose, we end up winning somehow. Yeah, can't deny us. Why would you want to? You need us. So Trump got another victory coming from SCOTUS, and the left is pretty upset about it. And so we're going to get to enjoy their temper tantrum. You know, I love temper tantrums, y'all. Yeah, man. I'll be like, look at him. Look at him acting a fool. Watch this. He gonna have a fit. He gonna have a fit. All right, here we go. Here we go. Yeah. So we're gonna get into that. But first, we got to revisit a topic that, you know, makes me very, very angry. I want y'all to look at this horrific racist xenophobe back in the day, talking about illegal immigration. Look at this. Look at this xenophobe right here, y'all. Oh, man. He's horrible. This man,
I think we should have strong border security.
What?
It doesn't make sense for us to allow hundreds of thousands of people coming through our borders without us knowing who they are.
That's the white man's talk. That's the white man's talk. I can't even believe you saying this. Let's continue.
They are oftentimes in very hazardous situations and unmonitored situations that could do us long-term damage.
So maybe we could send Mucus back in time so he could listen to their fearless leader that they all love so much when he was talking like he had some sense. Maybe Mucus wouldn't be getting impeached right now if he was thinking like their fearless leader. But the question is, why did their fearless leader change his view? That's my question. I mean, what happened to these Democrats that made them say, you know what, this is no longer reasonable or common sense? See, so if they changed it, you know they didn't change it because they believe in something. They changed it because something had to be a bigger benefit than the American people, than the safety of the country, than common sense. Something had to be bigger than that to make them say, well, even though what I was really saying then made sense, and I probably really believed that this is a good idea, but now I got to figure out how to come out and say, well, you know what, that this is, somebody say, hold on, remember to resubscribe and like, yes, thank you, just in case you've been unsubscribed. So now They have to be able to come out and tell us why then did it make sense back then and not now. Why isn't what we're listening to right here from their fearless leader, because it ain't Joe Biden, why is it that what he's saying right now does not fit into the modern view of illegal immigration? Because this man right here would be considered a xenophobe. He would be considered a racist, a replacement theorist. Let's finish hearing this white nationalist.
I think we should have a serious employer verification system where employers, when they hire somebody, find out what their work status is. Are they able to work here?
No, you don't have to do that. Just give them work visas. That's it. Yeah, see, because we listen to the new modern day Democrats, the Democrats, that are what they need is work visas. They need to just go ahead and give them all work visas. Yeah, I don't know what this man's talking about. See, if we're going to be judging based on people's past comments and views, this guy right here is irredeemable. He's irredeemable. I mean, just think about this, guys. This doesn't even date back to slavery. This don't even date back to slavery. This is only, 2000, maybe 7 or something like that, 2004. Who knows? Who knows? But my point is, if people who had nothing to do with slavery can't be redeemed, man. The things that took place centuries ago is irredeemable. How can this man, after saying these white nationalist racist things right here, be redeemed? Why do they now look at this guy like a hero? It just goes to show how weak-minded the left is when it comes down to their voters, their supporters, because it's amazing how they could make people change their views based on just influence through the media. I mean, these same views, if Donald Trump came out right now and started saying these things, he would be called everything under the sun. But they could watch this and say, but it's different. It's different. And back then, see, I guess he got an epiphany since then. No, he became more corrupt since then. Here we go.
Right now, what employers will say is, well, we check their social security card. That's the best we can do. So we got to set up a tamper-proof system. And
a tamper-proof system? Oh, you mean something a little more solid than just saying, you know what? Let all these illegal immigrants come in through the border and don't ask many questions and just tell everybody you're here for asylum and they will let you come in. You mean like the modern day, vetting of all these illegal immigrants to just let some come flowing in, 85% or so of them just come right into the country. Yeah. So let's finish hearing, because see, I just want to play this on a reel to Mucus and to Joe Biden, who they all praise Barack Obama. I would like their justification of why this no longer makes sense. That's what I would like. I would love to see them say, well, what he said then was what? What, white nationalists? No. It was based on the current situation then, but now why is it different now? Because you all became more white nationalistic. It would be something to marvel at, to see them pretzel themselves and contort what this speech is saying right here, and then fit it into, today's view of illegal immigration from the Democrats. Boy, I'd love to see that, just for farce and giggles. Just for farce and giggles. Thank you.
And then hold employers accountable. And then this, for some, is the most controversial part, that we've got to have a pathway to citizenship for the 12 million people or so who are already here. You pay a fine, you learn English, you stay out of trouble, you've got a job.
No, bruh. That's called a simulation. You don't want these folks to have to drop all their culture and all of their ways. I mean, heck, if they were criminals down there in Guatemala, no, let them be criminals up here. Yeah. If they don't want to ever learn the language or fall in love with the country, so what, man? So what? Leave these folks be. I think you're going in trying to force them into a patriarchal white man colonizing society. That's what I think you're doing, you xenophobe. Let's continue.
Go to the back of the line so that those who came here legally, that backlog is cleared before you have opportunities for citizenship. And that is a reasonable approach.
No, see, reason went out the window with these Democrats. Bye-bye, reason. So now, these new illegal immigrants, I guess, they're not even called illegal immigrants. It's funny how the definition have changed, I guess. But these new upgraded, I guess, new modern legal immigrants, or should I say undocumented citizens, according to the left, have bunny hopped over all of the folks that is in line legally. Just bunny hopped over him. Back then, though, this man was talking about fairness. He was talking about a process. He's talking about standing and waiting your turn. All of that mess. That's what he was talking about, which is nothing but xenophobia. Xenophobia, man. He wants to keep America white. That's all he wants.
And one that will ultimately address the biggest problem for American workers, and that is the depressive effect of undocumented workers who aren't right now subject to oftentimes minimum wage laws or worker safety laws or all the other things that make them cheaper for employers.
Whoa. I can't believe what I'm hearing. I can't believe, if I'm a bleeding heart Democrat liberal voter who supports illegal immigration, and somebody played this to me, my head would pop. My head would pop. I'd be going, what is he? I thought he was like a god. I can't believe he thought that way back then. And it's funny how Democrat voters forgive Democrat politicians for the way they thought back then. The people they praise, the things that they supported easily. It's because the media tells them to. It's because the current culture demands it, and they don't have enough mental strength to reject it or even question it. They don't even question why Joe Biden back in the day said, I don't want my kids growing up in a racial jungle, and was okay with segregation on the bus. They don't even question that. They don't even bring it up. They don't even ask, like, wait a minute, if the Democrats are anti-racism and all of that stuff, why were they supporting Margaret Sanger, who was a eugenicist that wanted to exterminate black people and was doing speeches at the darn Klan? Why did they say she was great and all of that stuff? Why do they still have Planned Parenthoods all in these black neighborhoods and the Democrats support that crap? When we know the origin of these Planned Parenthoods, and it was to go ahead and try to, exterminate black folks and all this stuff. Why do they still support that crap? Why don't their voters ever question these things? See, it just cracks me up. Democrats have mastered the art of manipulating the minds of many, many weak-minded citizens. And it's amazing because, see, they will sit back and hear all this information, which I was dropping all of this stuff, all of these past statements and behaviors of the Democrat Party. When Trump ran, I think it was the first and even the second time, I would drop all kind of historical information on Facebook to show them, all of you social justice warriors who are fighting against racism and discrimination, who are talking about, the past could never be forgotten and you have to atone for it and all of this stuff. And I'm saying the very party of the Democrats is still in existence and they were responsible for all the stuff you're mad at. But that's different. No, you're just dumb. That's all. You're a victim of manipulation and brainwashing and gaslighting and all of that propaganda. You're just going to literally forgive all of them. But with Trump or any conservative, nope, there's no forgiveness. In fact, with America, there's no forgiveness. But we can forgive the Democrat Party, though, right? They should be abolished according to their rules. But let's continue listening to the xenophobe.
If they're out of the shadows, then we can make sure those laws are enforced and those cost advantages for hiring undocumented workers go away.
But I want to ask.
Well, now listen to that. Well, let's come up to the future. That was back then. It doesn't matter. Let's erase the past when it comes down to those racist, white nationalist, xenophobe thoughts of their fearless leader. See, here's the new version of them. Now, here's mucus. Here's mucus, y'all. Now, I hate mucus. I don't like that mess flowing. I don't like to see mucus. I don't want nothing to do with mucus. That's why we need to get rid of it. We need to drain the mucus. So Mayorkas has the nerve to go on to TV. And of course, the current situation, whereas his raggedy policies, along with all the rest of the Democrats, when it comes down to illegal immigration, has been resulting in American citizens becoming the victim of crime and all of this stuff. So let's see how he handles this rare question that lightweight challenges him on a fake news network. So here we go, y'all. We got to tolerate mucus just for a second before I destroy him.
Ask you about a criminal case that has become a political rallying point. You heard Donald Trump use this phrase, migrant crime. A 22-year-old nursing student, I know you've been following this, Laken Riley.
No, I have not been following it because I don't like looking at my own dirty work. I have to act like I never heard of this. I'm unfamiliar with the case.
You know he don't want to talk about this. You know he don't. But he has to, because guess what? This is now being used to bludgeon, rightfully, the Democrat Party and their border policies. So now he got to come out and try to address it. Can't act like it's just, overlooked, it didn't happen or anything like that. So she's going to try to help him out a little bit by saying, you know what, how are you going to address this and let the people know you're not heartless and you're not really responsible for this? Because if you don't address it, they're going to keep saying, they won't even say her name. They won't even recognize it. These folks are responsible for her death. So now Mucus got the daunting task of going out here and trying to address this.
In the state of Georgia was murdered allegedly by an undocumented Venezuelan migrant.
No, not an undocumented Venezuelan migrant, an illegal immigrant. That's what she was murdered by, an illegal immigrant that shouldn't have been in the country. And you're talking undocumented migrant. What is that? The play on words, man, is unbelievable.
And undocumented.
Why have definitions if this is the case? See, so they figure out these clever ways to lessen the impact of the real term. See, because if you start saying illegal, first thing people say is, wait, associate illegal with negativity. If it's illegal, why are they here then? See, so it sounds a little better if you just say undocumented migrant. No, an illegal alien. Here we go.
The suspect had been detained by Border Patrol upon crossing, released with temporary.
Obtained by Border Patrol upon crossing, detained, and what happened?
Permission to stay in the country.
Given permission to stay in the country. Now, I wonder who has informed them and coached them to do this. Back in the day, you come across, you get caught, you get deported. Especially if they find out you got a record. But for some reason, the new Democrats say, now let them go, catch and release. What type of crime do you have to even have committed to get sent back immediately for good? See, that's my question. Especially if there's no way to even know what kind of crimes you committed coming from Guatemala or wherever you're coming from. So now this man was caught. Okay, great. Let's just say he got caught coming across the border. They detained him, but they really didn't have no criminal background or data on him. But look what happens.
He then went on allegedly to commit crimes twice. Once in New York for driving a scooter without a license, and once in connection with a shoplifting case in.
Well, look at this. Okay.
Hello, I'm from Venezuela or wherever I did. Doesn't even matter. I'm here to for my asylum claim, the Mucus, and Joe Biden told me I can get. Okay. I'm not even going to ask you why you're here for asylum. Just come on in. You're good, right? Yeah, mostly.
Okay, go ahead in. Now you get in, and then you commit two crimes. Okay, this scooter situation, but then shoplifting, you should be gone. You should be gone. Okay, maybe you don't realize you're in a country that's supposed to have laws and consequences. Maybe down there in some of these countries where there's a lot of lawlessness. And see, this is what burns me up about these Democrats that supporting this crap and allowing it to happen. That's why Mucus should be thrown in jail. Don't you realize in South America, there's a lot of lawlessness. You understand that? They're used to a corrupt government. They know how to work the system in that corrupt government. And they probably look at Americans as vulnerable, naive victims. So they down there roughing it in certain parts, most parts of South America. Would you want to go to jail in South America? That's my question. Do you think you would get a fair trial if you was captured by the police in South America?
And listen, for you to get bail, you're going to have to pay $30,000.
I heard of a story about a lady and her family who went to Mexico. They got into a car accident. Nobody was hurt except her husband. He broke his back. And the Mexican police, they extorted money from him. They made him pay $30,000 before they would even treat her husband. And they were just making up the laws. They said, look, if you damage somebody's property, you got to pay for it before you can get medical treatment. They're like, well, how much is it? $30,000. So now they're calling back home to get money to pay so her husband could get the operation. It took them several hours. They come back like, we finally got the money. Oh, it took too long. Now it's going to be $50,000. It took them about another 6 hours to get $50,000. By that time, his back was broken. He was in the hospital all night long and died from his injury because lack of medical treatment. All because the Mexican police was extorting money out of these Americans. So now, I don't know about you. I wouldn't want to get jacked up in Mexico or anywhere else in South America. They got different rules, man. Now, I'm not saying all of them are corrupt. There are some, people down there trying to clean some stuff up. But overall, there's too much history of criminality. There's a certain mentality, there's a certain culture, certain things that's like, okay. And you get a lot of them that come in and they're like, I'm going to lay low. But what about the ones that saying, I ain't going to lay low. I'm coming here to take full advantage of this because normally I wouldn't even be able to get in there. But because we got a dumb administration right now who's saying, come on in. We won't vet you. We won't demand that you assimilate. We're going to go ahead and shove you into all of these areas and cities without no support, no jobs, no nothing. What do you think is going to happen with these young men? What do you think is going to happen with them? They're going to do things like this because maybe they don't realize, well, I'm in America now. Now, how dumb can you be to come all the way here to commit one of the most heinous crimes? I mean, were you here for asylum or were you here for crime? You too dumb to realize I don't come into another person's crib, shouldn't even be there, and then start committing crimes. You think that will fly with an American? If I go to Russia and somehow manage to get in the country and stay, and then 2 days later, I commit a crime like this, they would behead me. And yet these people down there, they just assume, hey, what can be the worst punishment here in America? Their jails aren't like ours. I get in that jail up there. It'd be great. It'd be great. Let's continue.
Georgia. Did those states and their law enforcement communicate to the federal government that this had happened? Should this man have been deported?
A few thoughts.
No, not a few thoughts. You big old fat stinking thing. You big cue ball head having I want to drop an elbow on top of the dome right there. Talking about a few thoughts. So now she's like, well, why didn't they communicate? Why didn't they communicate? That's what I want to know. Well, we know why they didn't communicate. It's because these sanctuary cities don't cooperate with ICE. The man shouldn't have even been in the country. He should have been deported off grip. But here's Mucus with a few thoughts.
First, Margaret, first and foremost, an absolute tragedy, and our hearts break for and our prayers are with the family.
Yeah, that's the extent of it, though. Because, see, that's what he has to say. First of all, that was a tragedy. Who did it happen to? Tragedy for who? Now, if it was George Floyd, that was a tragedy for George Floyd and his family, and then the police. It would be a whole bunch of that. They would be dropping names everywhere. But now Mucus is just tragedy for the family. Here we go.
Number one. Number two, and importantly, as a prosecutor, having prosecuted violent crime and other crimes for 12 years,
here we go.
One individual is responsible for the murder, and that is the murderer.
Since when? I mean, because the Democrats major in collective punishment. So what are you talking about? The only person responsible for the murder is the murderer. All of that? Really? So wait a minute. So you mean to tell me the next time some lone wolf, some crazy person, because that's what motivates these people, start going into some place that's it, my girlfriend broke up with me and I'm mad at the whole world, and start a whole bunch of people, we're not going to have to hear about you all trying to come after everybody's guns? The only person that's responsible for that is the shooter. That's what we're going to hear come out of y'all? Or is it going to be the rise of white nationalism and all of these patriots and extremism is responsible for this, and we need to get everybody's guns? I want the same attitude, same statement applied the next time something like that happened, God forbid. But they won't do that. It only applies when their butt's on the hook and they're responsible for something like this. Now they want, no, it ain't my fault. It ain't nobody. First of all, we don't want y'all to go ahead and get the idea that every illegal immigrant has the potential of being a criminal. Because see, every time y'all bring up criminality or any of that stuff, we start getting in y'all grill talking about how are you going to generalize? They're not on crime. You're just stereotyping and all this stuff and that. So we want to keep that notion real low. We don't want y'all to start going, now, wait a minute, man. How many of these cases are going on? Why aren't y'all informing the public about it? What is the stats when it come down to illegal immigrants responsible for crime in America? Why ain't y'all telling us this? Why are y'all trying to downplay this mess and say things like, well, a Chicago man committed a murder, a Georgia man was caught robbing? Why don't y'all say, no, these aren't Georgia men. These are legal immigrants doing this? Because you don't want to shed light on the fact that there is a population, most likely is large now, especially considering the amount of illegal immigrants that y'all have let in. The more illegal immigrants come into the country, the more criminals come into the country. You dig? Simple principle. But here's this guy now trying to divert from that. He wants everybody to focus on one case. First of all, don't look at us. Okay, we didn't do this. We're not responsible for this. That man who did it, him, the one who did it, him, the one. And don't look at all the other illegal immigrants because, see, we don't want y'all saying, well, if this one did it, how many other folks might be doing it? Because we want you guys to be naive. We want y'all to go ahead and think that this is great for our country. That's what we want.
And we work very closely with state and local law enforcement to ensure that individuals who pose a threat to public safety are indeed our highest priority.
Stop lying, Mucus. I'm sick of the lies. Stop lying, Mucus. So here he is. We work very closely with the state. As you have handicapped ICE, how can you be working very closely with sanctuary cities who don't report criminals to ICE? Yeah, see, y'all don't report them until they do something that brings light to everything. See, you tolerate the small crimes, and that only encourages them to go ahead and say, well, heck, I got away with that mess. Yeah, judge let me out the back room. Got caught drunk driving several times. Get on out of here. Because, see, we're trying to keep the narrative that illegal immigrants are all precious, gentle woodland creatures. So we're going to go ahead and let you go. We're not even going to call ICE. ICE is outside waiting for you. Go out the back. ICE, baby. Too cold. ICE, baby. They don't want ICE rolling up on the scene, so they be letting them out until they do something that's so drastic that, oh, shoot, is that the dude we let out 8 times? Oh, we ain't going to be able to hide this one from the media. So send in Mucus
for detention and removal.
Are you saying there that the federal government had been informed about this individual and the alleged crimes he had committed in those states? Because he could have been deported if that was the case. Was there a breakdown in the system?
So
you're the breakdown in the system, Mucus. You are the breakdown.
Margaret, there are a number of cities around the country.
Wait, what kind of cities? What kind of cities? Sanctuary cities? Call them for what they are, Mucus.
That have varying degrees of cooperation with the immigration authority.
Oh, yeah. Some of them don't have any because they're sanctuary cities. Could that be it? All ran by Democrats. Let's get specific. Don't mince words. I want to know what kind of cities these are. What do they label themselves? What do they all have in common? What's their philosophy? See, I mean, they're all carrying the title as a sanctuary city. Therefore, under that, they don't cooperate with ICE. You big old nasty thing, you.
We firmly believe that
New York did not?
We firmly believe that if a city is aware of an individual who poses a threat to public safety, then we would request that they provide us with that information so that we can ensure that that individual is detained if the facts so warrant.
You should require that from every single city in America. Not, it shouldn't be no sanctuary cities. First of all, they shouldn't be here. Secondly, you guys don't want ICE going to pick them up. Y'all have encouraged these cities not to cooperate with ICE. This is a philosophy that the Democrats have. They encourage this mess. And now, yeah, we encourage that. Because, see, now you have to say that because of what happened. Instead of saying this is a bunch of bullcrap. These people should. Now, understand this. We should have a zero tolerance policy for many things. Number one, zero tolerance when it comes down to you trying to fake getting into our country under the premise of asylum. We're here for asylum for what? I'm not here to hear you tell me about gang violence or climate change or any other thing except for one, religious persecution, two, political persecution. However, I'm going to go ahead and add one more cherry on the top of that. If you do tell me about that, and you have passed through 2 or 3 countries before you came to our border, you take your butt back down to the first country you got to and apply there, then to the next until you get to us. And show documentation that every one of those countries rejected your asylum claim. There you go. Zero tolerance. Number 2, if somehow you get asylum and you come in here, okay, under the grace and mercy of our asylum law, and you commit the smallest crime, and I'm talking about the smallest crime, you're a guest. We done welcomed you in, trying to save your life according to what you're saying, and this is how you repay us? You stole a pack of bubble gum? It starts with bubble gum. Then it leads to a bank. So how about this? You're not setting a good tone off grip. I mean, if it's your first day on the job and you come in late, leave early, get caught talking on the phone, you are a damaged employee for the rest of if I let that go. Day one, I'm going, this person just got here. They didn't even wait to try to, look around and see what they can get away with, put in a little time, bluffer. Hey, look at me, boss. I'm doing stuff. You come in off grip, breaking laws, breaking rules, you're done. You're done. And that's what should have happened. Let alone all of these illegal immigrants that we've let in. One thing, the moped ride without a license should have got this man bounced out of here. That's what should have happened. But nope, not mucus, because ICE would have showed up like what he was riding a moped illegally. Let's get him. No, leave him alone. He did nothing that does not threaten that society.
It sounds like they were not coordinating.
Well, different cities have different levels of cooperation.
Oh.
We were not notified in this instance.
Why not, Mucus? Why aren't you mad at these cities? Why aren't you defining these cities? Why aren't you saying, these sanctuary cities have different levels of cooperation? Sanctuary cities. So, Marco Rubio, help Mucus out because maybe he's too dense to realize what's going on.
There are criminals in every country in the world. Okay, you take 6.2 million people from anywhere. Some percentage of them are going to be criminals. Some of them were already criminals. They're not criminals because they're migrants. They're criminals because they're criminals.
Thank you. Because, see, I just heard some libs arguing this on, I think it was Piers Morgan. Yeah, you know what? Would you say that these people are coming and they possibly could be criminals? What you're doing? That's xenophobia. No, it's common sense. All right. The more folks you let in, unvetted. Now, see, the key right here is just imagine, just letting these people in, vetting them is a pain in the butt if they were all legit. But imagine not vetting them. Do you think for 1 second the criminal element of people in South America would not blend in? Do you think they wouldn't look at this as an opportunity? I mean, heck, if we are struggling with our criminality down here, where we might get killed on the streets from another gang or whatever, if we get to the U.S., the worst that could happen is we just get thrown into a nice, cozy, air-conditioned jail. So let's go to America and set up an enterprise because of our dumb politicians.
For example, there is a gang in Venezuela, Tren de Aragua, well-known gang in Venezuela that left Venezuela, has terrorized Colombia, has terrorized Peru, has terrorized other countries. Some of those people have now made their way into the United States. What do we think they do once they get here? Do we think they become...
They all go to church, sing Kumbaya, sit around, working charities and things like that. That's what they do. And they come here for a better life. They're gentle, willing creatures, right, Marco Rubio?
Become stockbrokers? Do we think they now become, they go and run some charity organization? No, they do here what they did in Peru, what they did in Colombia, what they did in Venezuela before that. They are criminals. Every single day they're playing out. Again, not because they're migrants, but because they are criminals.
And see, here's the reality of it, the common sense part of it. Why? Since I heard people say, well, you know what, Americans commit a lot of criminals. Well, the difference is they are Americans. And they should be punished under our American law. There it is. Why increase that, though? Why increase the risk? It's called risk assessment. You know, the more people you cram into a city and the more people that come from another country, the more chance you have of a criminal element blending in with them. Especially if you don't have jobs for these people. I mean, what do you think they're eventually, even a person who comes here that maybe isn't starting off like a criminal, but they've been here for about 9 months now and they don't have a job, they ain't got nothing, and all of a sudden they see an opportunity, you might even start creating criminals. And they like they're coming in here and just jumping straight into a luxurious life. These folks are sleeping outside in certain places, putting all types of shelters and stuff like that. And aside from all of the money that the Democrats are giving them, I mean, heck, how long is that going to last? So now you got these people in here, and I'm saying, wow, the more you bring, the more chance you have of stacking on more crime in the U.S. We already got our criminals to deal with, but you're going to bring other criminals in too? Even our criminals might look at the crime that they commit down there like, man, these cats is wilding. I mean, you ever seen what the Mexican cartel be doing down there? I mean, in South America and some of those countries, you be going, well, dang. I mean, I just punched this dude in the face. They hung him from a bridge. I mean, we up here having knife fights or a shootout with 9mm, and they down there in the back of a pickup with a 50 cal. I don't know if I want to roll with that type of crime. They got a whole different mentality, man. But hey, Mucus don't care. See, he don't care one bit, and that's why his butt is getting impeached and should be thrown into jail. For all of the criminal victims that have been, unfortunately, a victim of his policies and the Biden administration. But guys, let's get into it. The left dreams have faded away, y'all. Sweet dreams are made of these. Who am I to disagree? So guys, you know they was dreaming when they were laid out at night that all of these court cases would destroy Donald Trump. They were hoping, and they were like, man, hopefully the Supreme Court would do what they did after the election. When Donald Trump was saying, look, man, y'all need to take a look at this mess. We don't want nothing to do with it. We don't want to get in trouble. We don't want people showing up at our houses protesting and stuff. But now, for some reason, the Supreme Court have been dropping all kind of L's on the Democrats' parade. So let's go ahead and see what's going on with this latest verdict.
We've got some breaking news right now. The Colorado Supreme Court, get this, has just ruled on a challenge to Donald Trump's appearance on the state's 2024 ballot.
What? Wait a minute. Hold on. You telling me that they done finally ruled on that? I'm glad they did. Nice and quickly. This is the same. Colorado and all of these other scholars who swore up and down this made sense and somehow came to this conclusion somehow. Couldn't have been political. It couldn't have been political, right? These are folks that couldn't have been doing it because, you know, they're part of the Democrat Party machine and they're trying to pull this crap off and hope that SCOTUS didn't, side or make a decision on it. Now, this goes to show, though, their reaction to this, it goes to show how obviously corrupt these people are and how desperate, what extent they're willing to go to stop one man. One man. You would think, man, just get a dude his 4 years. Just give him his 4 years. But apparently, the damage he might do to whatever they got going on is so important that they can't take a loss. They're willing to go through all of this and watch their reaction as they see it might be fading away.
Well, this is a stunning ruling from the Colorado Supreme Court saying that Trump should not appear on the ballot in 2024.
Why is it stunning? I thought it was common sense. I'm sitting there saying, oh, wait a minute, why is that stunning? I knew that was coming down the pipeline. when y'all came out with this crap, talking about some 14th Amendment. I'm like, what's that? What's that? What's that? Wait, what you mean? Trump ain't accused of insurrection. He ain't tried. You know, he ain't been convicted. But y'all just saying he's an insurrectionist, and these local folks got the nerve to go, well, he looks like an insurrection to me. Let's take him off the ballot. But yeah, y'all are shocked about the decision.
Breaking news tonight out of Maine, where a move by the Secretary of State has made Maine the first state to officially remove Donald Trump from the ballot on 14th Amendment grounds.
Yeah, they were celebrating. They were throwing some Rick James. It's a celebration. Oh, they was hoping.
In breaking news tonight, a judge in Illinois has disqualified former President Trump from appearing on the state's Republican primary ballot. Cook County Judge Tracy Porter cited the
another activist. Yeah, look at that. Look at all these activists. Their reputations should be destroyed. Destroyed. That they would have the nerve to try to pull this crap off. What justification could you give? I'm glad the Supreme Court went ahead and cleared this up. Because now everybody should look back down from the Supreme Court to these people and say, you'll never make it there. You'll never make it to the Supreme Court. Based on your judgment. How in the world, okay, did you conclude this unless you were doing it for political reasons? That's how you concluded it.
14th Amendment's insurrection clause in her ruling, ordering the state's election board to remove Donald Trump based on his actions on January 6th.
Oh my.
Illinois is now the third state to disqualify Trump from 2024 primary ballot.
Well, look at that. They were cooking with grease. Every time a new activist would come out and disqualify him, boy, the news cycle like that. Yes, what does this mean for Donald Trump? It looks like he's in trouble. That's what it looks like. And you know what? There is a clause. Yeah, they were all debating it. All these low-life, manipulating, dang on propagandists on the networks were trying to go ahead and pump the brain of all of these liberal voters that Trump might not even appear on the ballot. Now, they've been doing this for a while. And when will their voters, I heard CNN about to collapse perhaps, and I hope they do, but they've been doing this to their voters for a while. They come up with these lies, these stories, with the deep state, the Democrats, all of that. They're all big one part of each other. And then they get their people all excited. I just rekindled a conversation with a guy I used to argue with on Facebook, one of my good friends from college. And I'm like, you still support your boy Joe Biden? And here he comes out. Yeah, well, you know what? Trump might not even be on the ballot. Trump might, he ain't gonna have enough money to pay for this and that. And then Trump might be in jail. And he's getting all of this hope from these same people who every time something like this happens, they go over the top. They tell everybody, oh, this is it. And then the walls are closing in. Imagine that letdown and that disappointment if you're somebody who succumbed to their propaganda. At what point do you start saying, these people have been lying to me? I mean, they told me Trump was a Russian agent and he would probably go to prison for treason, only to find out that was a lie, along with many, many others. So this is the latest one where they were talking about he might get removed from the ballot.
The others are Maine and Colorado. As of right now, though, all three of these disqualifications are on hold pending a Supreme Court decision that could come down any day.
Huh? Uh-oh.
All right, we just got the breaking news. Thank you for being with us here on MSNBC. The Supreme Court issuing a ruling on the Colorado ballot case.
Good morning, Anna. We've learned that it was a 9-0 decision ruling that Donald Trump can be on the ballot in Colorado and other states.
It was a 9-0 decision.
A goose egg? You didn't score a point? Oh, can you imagine that? 9-0 if you was in a boxing match and you lost 9-0. Yeah. I didn't win a round. Not one? No. Not a round. Yeah, I played a football game. We didn't score a point. Not 1 point? No. Or even worse, played a basketball game and didn't score a point. A basketball game and you didn't score? No. And we got beat 100-0. So 9-0.
And my Lord, we're in much more trouble than I ever thought we were.
So that means zip it. Zip it. Zip it good. So that means zip it up, fake news. All of them who were maybe hoping that a couple of the liberal ones on the Supreme Court might go ahead and dissent. But how can you now say, well, you know what, it's just all these conservatives that when all of them, they ran the table. 9-0. What is this? What's this? My man.
Again, the court here saying because the Constitution makes Congress rather than the states responsible for enforcing Section 3 against federal office holders and candidates, we reverse. So again, a clear win for the Republican frontrunner. The Colorado case was the one that was in front of them right now, but other states had tried to ban him from the ballot, including Maine and Illinois. With the court doing this right now, those essentially will also be wiped away.
Law on the bridge is falling down, falling down, falling down. Law on the bridge is falling down all through town. So I don't know if that's the words or not. I'm making it up as I go. But nonetheless, I know that one was a gut punch. Now they getting gut punched one after another. They just took a gut punch the other day when I was filling up my cup with all those liberal tears. When the Supreme Court came out and said, yeah, we're going to listen to this Jack Smith case on our own time. On our own time. Yeah, they were whining about that. And they're discouraged over the potential of the Fannie Willis case getting thrown out because she couldn't keep her skirt down. Yeah, and then they get this blow. Boy, I mean, where's my... Yeah. Oh, yeah. Just a swig. I don't want to get too excited. Let me just get a swig of their tears. Delicious. Let's continue.
Well, I've just been reading the opinion. It's obviously a sweeping. There aren't any real dissents, so it does look like it is unanimous, at least on the result. What they have a disagreement on is whether the court had to go as far as it did. Now, the most practical result of this is that the voters will be able to vote for the candidate that they prefer.
No, but that's the whole point of this facade. It's to keep the voters from voting for who they prefer. See, none of this stuff serves a purpose if the voters get a chance to choose. You know what I'm saying? I mean, why have the Jack Smith case if you can't throw Trump in jail before the election? Huh? Why have the Fannie Willis case if, y'all can't try to go ahead and get him before Super Tuesday or try this trial, real quick and find some type of verdict? Why do all of that? See, because if you can't do it before the election, it means nothing. It means nothing. So, it just goes to show that this is all political anyway. We all knew it. And my gut tells me that the Supreme Court justice knows it too. And they're saying, you know what? We're going to do some things that will offset the obvious politicization of the courts and all these district judges and them trying to subvert our democracy by removing this man from the ballot and trying to take him to court right before Super Tuesday. Why was Jack in the Box so presumptuous? Why was he like, yo, we got to hurry it up, man? I want this case to go down on day before Super Tuesday. So today, really, y'all, he would have been in court. Trump would have been in court with Jack in the Box. But the Supreme Court instead gave them a nice surprise on today.
This was a critical moment for this court in history. After all of the years we have spent in this republic, we came to a point where these states claimed that they could unilaterally bar the leading presidential candidate from ballots.
So, in other words, we've sunk this low because of our nasty, stinking Democrats, deep state, and fake news. Yeah, who would have ever thought that we as Americans would get to the point? See, and this is what shocks all of us. We're sitting here saying, I can't even believe this is happening right before our eyes. Are they really trying to remove Trump from the ballot? Are they really trying to say this man inspired and launched an insurrection which defies all rationale and logic? No guns, no weapons, no nothing, no plan, no communication, none of that stuff. But they just say it. They just say it. Are they really doing this right out in the open? And then saying that we're conspiracy theorists because we see the truth? Saying that, you know what, we're extremists, we're all brainwashed, all because we see the truth? This is so obvious what they were doing, and I'm glad that it's backfiring on their butts. It's amazing that we even got to this point, but that goes to show how desperate they are to stop this man. Wow, they must have a lot to lose. Let's continue.
prevent people from voting for Donald Trump.
Yeah, but they're
court
fighting for
here
democracy.
spoke with a strong, and it appears, unanimous voice, at least on the result, that that's not going to happen. That voters will vote. They'll make their own verdict, regardless.
And the voters would even vote if they removed him from the ballot or if they put him in jail. Yeah, you think everybody's going to turn to Nikki? Huh? Nasty Nikki? No, everybody would say, man, I'm not voting for Nasty Nikki. How do I write Trump in? He's in prison. I'll write him in. They don't realize that we see through them. You're not going to discourage us from supporting Trump this way. When you guys are abusing your power, and it's obvious, and you think, you know what, the more we abuse him, if we take it to the extreme and throw him in prison, all of these Republican MAGA voters will have no choice but to support a raggedy rhino like Nikki Haley. There's still a choice because there's nothing in the Constitution that says we can't write Trump in if he's in prison. But let's continue because I don't think that's going to happen at all.
This is what happens in cases involving President Trump. They will cast the most important verdict of all. They will vote for the next president of the United States.
Yeah. Let the people decide. You got to give the people. Yeah. You got to give the people what they want, which is the ability to vote for who they want. How dare you nasty, stinking, globalists, elitists, raggedy politicians make that choice for us. Now let's continue. Meanwhile, what?
Meanwhile, a larger reaction is disappointment.
Well, look at that. That's the lady from Colorado, I guess. I don't know where she might have been from Maine. Might have been from Maine. Here she is. She's back with her big eyes, her surprise eyes, and she's whining.
I do believe that states should be able, under our Constitution, to bar oath-breaking insurrectionists. And ultimately, this decision leaves open the door for Congress to act, to pass authorizing legislation. But we know that Congress is a nearly non-functioning body. So ultimately, it will be up to the American voters to save our...
Jeez, oh man. Boy, those saucers are wide open. I mean, good googly moo. And those some big eyes right there, man. She is looking dead in that screen, concentrating. And ultimately, so now she's mad. After she done tried to go ahead and support a raggedy decision herself, and they tried to put her on all the networks and, tell her she was a hero and all of that stuff. Now, they all know when this crap got to the Supreme Court. Don't act like y'all surprised. Everybody knew that, man, this will never stand in the Supreme Court. Now, why? Why did we all know that? Well, it's because the Supreme Court is the only institution at this point out of the three branches that hasn't been infiltrated and co-opted and politicized. And hopefully it'll remain that way. See, and they don't like it. They knew that they ran the risk of it being shot down. So here she is whining about it.
Democracy in November.
That looks like page 13.
Jim Acosta.
The reasons given responsibility for enforcing Section 3 against federal office holders and candidates rests with Congress and not the states.
Right.
The judgment of the Colorado Supreme Court therefore cannot stand. So they're saying essentially that Congress has to make this decision whether there are insurrectionists who need to be kept off of ballots. Is that essentially what they're saying?
Essentially what they're saying is it's up to Congress to tell us how this works. So if Congress had, let's say 50 years ago, Congress had passed a law saying, we're going...
Somebody said that Nikki Haley won Washington, D.C. Of course. Yeah, that's all her friends. She's the establishment. Of course she won Washington, D.C. We'll give her that. Those are her peoples. I mean, you can't go around bragging that you won D.C. because we all look at D.C. as a swamp. So you're telling me you won a swamp? The swamp loves you, Nikki? That's what you're saying? Of course the swamp will reject disinfected. Now, we don't want anything, clearing up the swamp. We want a swamp creature that enjoys swimming around in this sewage. So, yeah, of course she won that. But now, this guy's explaining, though, that Congress would have needed to pass some type of insurrection clause or something like that to try to stop Trump. Instead, they were just relying on individuals in different states saying, well, I think he committed an insurrection, so therefore I'm going to take away the will of the people and make a decision.
Going to let the states do it, so long as they abide by due process. Then what Colorado did would have been fine. But Congress has done essentially nothing in the 150 years since the 14th Amendment was ratified in 1868. Now, I want to make sure people understand this. It's a very important feature of this decision. There is no substantive discussion in here by the Supreme Court of whether Donald Trump did or did not engage in insurrection.
Interesting.
There is no conversation about what the meaning of his words at the rally were, or what happened inside the Capitol, or any of Donald Trump's actions. That's not what the Supreme Court...
Yeah, that was all decided during his impeachment, see? Yeah, when they tried to go ahead and infer, do a lot of editing, omit a lot of his statements, suppress the video of him coming out telling everybody to go ahead home. It's time to go home now. Yeah, that all fell apart during the impeachment. And of course, we know that the FBI have also said that, there was no conspiracy. There was no insurrection. But see, it doesn't help them because, see, they needed to be an insurrection so that they could go ahead and try to push the 14th Amendment. So in spite of all of that evidence, in spite of the FBI not supporting the insurrection narrative, the Democrats and the fake news just concluded. So what? You don't need to be accused of insurrection. You don't need to be tried and convicted of that mess. All you have to do is be a victim of our propaganda. If we tell the people that you committed an insurrection, well, dang it, that's it. We're the jury. We're the judge and jury. And then we're going to go ahead and find a couple activists in our cities that will also play the role of the judge and the jury. That's what they're doing.
Has done here. That's not what the Supreme Court typically does. This is a procedural, legalistic decision. And essentially, if I had to boil it down to one sentence, it would be, it's up to Congress, not the individual states.
They didn't want a big, messy situation where all the states go here and there and that sort of thing.
The word I circled in this decision is, quote, patchwork. They said we don't want a patchwork where one state's doing one thing and another state's doing another.
Yeah, because, see, that's exactly what would happen. But that's the risk that the Democrats are willing to take to stop Trump. They know if they open up that can of worms, then, man, it's a free-for-all. I mean, if we had real, Republican governors and politicians in red states that say, okay, y'all want to play like that? You want to play rough? Okay. They will get Biden's butt off. They will get any other Democrat, just Democrats, period. Soon as you run for the Democrat position in a red state, you know what, that person's an insurrectionist. But they just said that they were running. How did you conclude that? Just because they're Democrat. We feel that all Democrats are insurrectionists. I mean, why would you be a Democrat if you weren't an insurrectionist? So therefore, we're going to go ahead and have to get the Democrats out of our whole state. Every one of them. Just know, when you come to our state trying to run for some office, you are an insurrectionist. That's off grip. We start there, work our way backwards. You're an insurrectionist. Prove you're not. Let's continue. Listen to this guy.
That today is the day that the trial against Donald Trump for January 6th would have started, and instead we're talking about...
Instead, you got a big fat pie in your face. Instead, you got some eggs all in your face. Why don't you feel dumb? Dude, look at you. Y'all were supposed to be celebrating. Y'all were supposed to be talking about, look at this. Jack Smith was excellent today. All the information he presented shows that Donald Trump was indeed an insurrectionist. But now here he is like, they done turned my smile upside down. Instead of getting what we wanted, we thought we'd get ice cream. No, we ain't getting no ice cream. We getting liver. Let's continue.
This Supreme Court opinion on the 14th Amendment, and we're not going to get to talk about that trial because the Supreme Court last week delayed it through at least April, the end of April. And
Good. Yeah. Now listen to what this guy's doing. He's just showing how politicized the whole thing was. We should have been talking about this trial here from Jack Smith the day before Super Tuesday. But the Supreme Court intervened and said, nah, we'll hear it. And I know they're mad because they probably didn't think the Supreme Court would take it up. Yeah, that's their miscalculation. And they took it up. So now here he is talking about, man, see, we thought we was getting a bicycle for Christmas. All we got was some socks. I can't stand when Grandpa give me socks. I wanted a bicycle. So let's continue because he's upset about it. And I don't care.
So the Supreme Court will decide that case. I suspect very strongly that that case will be the inverse of this one, that it's a unanimous or close to unanimous loss for Donald Trump on the idea that he's absolutely immune. And assuming the Supreme Court can reach that decision quickly, and I sure hope they reach it as quickly as they reach this one.
Why? Why do you hope they reach it quickly? I mean, I thought you were really just trying to seek justice, right? I mean, how can you rush justice? Do you want to make a improper decision when it comes down to somebody's life or all of our votes? Why do you want to rush that through, man? What could be your motive for trying to rush that through? As they're talking, if you're smart, you'll understand that they're really confirming that this is all politically motivated, because there's no reason to try to rush that through. None. If you're simply seeking the truth and justice, take your time. Make it so obvious that Trump is truly guilty that there would never be any questions in the minds of the people, because y'all didn't rush it. Y'all took your time. You know what I'm saying? But nope, it's all about timing. Therefore, it's all about politics. That's what it's about. Yeah, man, settle down, man, relax. They get to it. What's the rush? Now, you know what's going to really show that this is all political? If they realize that they cannot get this trial through in time to make a difference, watch them drop it. If they don't continue to pursue it after that, then you know it was all political. It wasn't about getting to the truth. It was about stopping Trump.
Then the trial against Donald Trump for January 6th can proceed, and we can learn, the American public, with all the evidence splayed out in front of
No. If the trial for Donald Trump and January 6th thing proceed, you already know the verdict. You already know the answer. That's why y'all want to get this mess up into D.C. Yeah, y'all want to get it into places where they award crazy women who accuse Trump of, assault, getting $80-something million. That's what y'all want. Y'all want it in places where, a corrupt district attorney can just straight try to take the man's business and demand that he pay $355 million and just to go ahead and appeal. That's what you want. Yeah, see, y'all already know the outcome. Yeah, down there with Fannie Willis, y'all were banking on Fat Fannie. And get the raggedy behind, folks to indict him, crazy witches and stuff talking about, I just want to swear him in. All of that, because you guys know that that's all rigged. You already know. See, if you were strong with your case and believed it, then have it in Florida. But nope, y'all want that Jack Smith mess moved up to D.C. and all of that. I wonder why. And here he's talking about, we just want to get to the bottom of it. No, y'all want to get to the end of it, the verdict that you already know you're going to conclude with.
Of us, did Donald Trump commit insurrectionist acts on January 6th?
Well, I can answer that for you. We want to get to the truth with all the evidence. There is none. This. I can answer for you. Okay. Did Donald Trump mention insurrection to anybody on the phone or via email? No. Okay. Did any of the people that you claim were launching the insurrection come in with any type of weapons? No. Okay, that's strange. Normally with insurrections that take place. Okay, what would have been the outcome and goal of these people once they got into the Capitol? What was their next step? It was to stop the voting. How do you know that? Did they go to where they were voting? I mean, that's my question. What were they going to do once they stopped it? What would be the next rational thing after that? To go home, I guess? Oh, yeah. As they're being shot by the police walking out, if this was a real insurrection? So they just peacefully just stopped once they got in there? Oh, well, we're in here now. Where do we go from here? I don't know. We don't have a plan. If this was an insurrection, they would have a plan now, wouldn't they? And that plan would have been communicated by the person you're accusing for starting the insurrection, right? But you don't have any communication from that human to these people. So how did they figure out they were participating in an insurrection? If Trump didn't tell them, who told them? Osmosis. And then finally, why would an insurrectionist tell the people to go home during the insurrection? Why would an insurrectionist tell all of those people to go over and let your voices peacefully be heard? I mean, that's the weakest sounding insurrection ever. That doesn't encourage me
to run in like, that's right, we're taking our country back peacefully? That sucks. Yeah. And then finally, why would an insurrectionist suggest and offer 10 to 20,000 troops to stop it? These are questions that this bum, and I would be prone to say Jack Smith, could not answer. And I would hope that the defense team would ask these rational questions. But yet they want us to think that Trump inspired an insurrection. And the obvious, all these things are all missing in their theory. Why wasn't he charged with insurrection? Why did the FBI say he was an insurrectionist? But you guys just concluded this after a dang on impeachment concluded he wasn't guilty. FBI said it wasn't an insurrection, but somehow your J6 committee concluded this. Boy, I tell you, I would eat these people up. I should have been a lawyer.
That's the crucial question, and we, the American public, deserve to know the answer to that question and to hear all of the evidence before the election.
We done heard everything we need to know about J6, man. We done saw the bootleg patched together, rigged J6 narrative committee. We done heard CNN, MSNBC, and all of them point out every false narrative about Trump when it comes down to an insurrection. All of this. What else do we need to hear? That's what the people are still supporting Trump. So guess what? They already have made their decision. So what people are you talking about? That's my question. Yeah. So how about you let the people decide? But no, that's too risky for the Democrats. They don't believe in democracy. So look at this Democrat. Listen to this Democrat, y'all.
But I think it's important that all of that come out now. So
Why,
we're
Nikki?
not dealing with it later. I think he's hoping it comes out later so that he can make it all go away.
No, you're hoping to come out now. See, maybe that's why you're still in it, Nasty. Maybe that's why you're still in it. Up here, I think that it's important to come out now. Why not? Why, Nikki? Why, Nikki? Were you waiting for this verdict too, just like the Democrats? Are they the ones that said, Nikki, if you just stay in this, if we could pull off this whole Jack Smith thing, and if you might be a shoo-in, you still got a shot. So she's sounding like the man on CNN. But yet we're supposed to support her. I'm telling y'all, I would never, ever vote for her. I don't care what the circumstance is, because she's a part of the uniparty. She's a part of the Democrat machine. Listen to her butt.
But either way, we've got a problem on our hands.
Why,
I mean,
Nikki?
chaos follows Donald Trump wherever he goes.
Now see, right there, you done lost every MAGA supporter. No, we saw chaos follow Trump because they are chaos. They're creating chaos. Trump's not chaotic. He's not causing the chaos. Them blaming him that he's a Russian agent is causing chaos. Them impeaching him twice. They're causing chaos for nothing. Them with their whole J6 narrative is chaos. All of the lies. You actually, she thinks we're all ignorant. I don't know who she thinks she's appealing to, because she ain't appealing to us. We lived it. All of the MAGA voters have seen the left create nothing but chaos, starting with them in the streets, acting a fool, tearing up stuff, burning down stuff, looting, rioting, attacking Trump supporters, attacking innocent people. They unleashed chaos, all because they took an L to Trump. And here this fool is trying to pretend it's Trump. It's Trump. He's the one. For some reason, chaos just follows him. Or could it be your buddies are creating chaos and you're supporting it?
We continue to see this play out, and we can't be a country in disarray and a world on fire and go through 4 more years of chaos. We won't survive it.
Yeah, so you want us to go through 4 more years of tyranny. That's what you want. You want them to get their claws in deep so that they can secure power forever and make sure we never have a real legitimate candidate ever run again. You want to keep it the Rhino Party. You want to make sure that the Uniparty stays in effect. And it's obvious, Nasty Nikki. It's obvious. And listen to this, y'all. She gonna try to play, the fence. She gonna straddle the fence. Somebody said they missed one. I still have Facebook. I just haven't figured out how to do the live stream horizontally. It's making me do it vertically, like TikTok or something. But listen to this. I'm gonna figure it out, and then I'll be back on Facebook. But check this out, y'all. Watch this. She gonna reveal everything.
How much of a priority do you think it should be for these cases to get resolved before November, regardless of not?
I just think they need to do things quickly.
Oh, why, Nikki? Why, Nikki? See, I just think they need. Now, that sounds like everything we're hearing out of the CNN commentators, the MSNBC commentators, the Democrats. Why are you sounding like them? Why are you trying to rush this as if you just really want to get to the bottom of it? And it has no benefit to you. This is just your own personal feeling, right, Nikki? Your own personal feeling. I just think they need to get to this real quick. Why? What's the motivation? We're simply wanting to get to the bottom of it, and it shouldn't be a rush, right, Nikki? But for some reason, you're encouraging that they get to it quickly.
If it's hearing a case, do it quickly. If it's an appeal, do it quickly.
As it relates to the GOP frontrunner, what was your reaction to learning that the Supreme Court is going to take up the immunity case in the January 6th?
No! That's her reaction. No! Uh-huh. See, what's your reaction? She's like, darn it! Probably dropped about 18 cuss words. Bleep, 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 bleep. I stayed in this making a fool out of myself. Think on it. And revealing that I'm really a rhino. All to find these people coming out and messing it all up for me. So let's hear her try to straddle this fence and say that Trump needs to have this trial immediately, but I'm not a rhino. Here we go.
Trial.
I mean, I think you need to have the Supreme Court settle this.
Yeah.
I don't think that a president should be immune from anything.
Well, then why we need a time limit? Just have the Supreme Court settle it on their own time. What's the rush, nasty Nikki? That's what I'm wondering.
I think that the president has to live under laws too. And
are you talking about Joe Biden?
Things that no other president's ever asked for. So
are we talking about Joe Biden and laws and stuff like that? That's what I'm wondering.
I hope the Supreme Court rules quickly, and I hope they make their decision. But I think that they do have to give an answer on this.
Why? Why? Who does that benefit when it comes down to them ruling quickly? Why is that a prerequisite? Yeah, why is that? But you know what? They need to rule quickly to give me a chance to try to steal this up underneath Trump. I need to steal it. I'm hoping that ruling would damage Trump so bad. If we could get Jack Smith's corrupt butt back in to indict Trump, not only indict him, prosecute him, and convict him, I'm hoping that if we could pull something like that off, we could go ahead and change the minds of all of these MAGA voters. I'm hoping at some point these MAGA voters will say, dang, man. All right, so what do we do here? Do we run the risk of losing to Joe Biden again? Or do we just go ahead and take one for the team and go ahead and vote for nasty Nikki? I go with Trump. I'm telling you, I go with Trump. I mean, there's no way in the world I might as well be voting for Joe Biden if I voted for nasty Nikki. She has ruined herself forever when it comes down to her credibility with real MAGA voters.
You say you hope the Supreme Court rules.
Now listen to this question. She's leading Nikki. Look at her. She acting like these two didn't coordinate this. Look at this leading question, which is really a statement, not a question.
Quickly, do you mean that you would like to see this case go to trial before Election Day if Trump is the nominee so that voters know the outcome of this case?
Do you see that? That was a very long question statement, y'all. When you say you think that they should vote quickly, are you saying what I'm saying is hurry up, SCOTUS, hurry up and do this so that folks can make a decision based on our raggedy ruling and this false conviction that we're trying to get on Trump. See, that's really what she's saying and communicating to the audience and throwing this to Nikki and saying, I want you to go ahead and confirm that statement right there like we talked about. So listen.
I think voters are going to want to know what they're walking into. And if they're walking into a president who's still going to have to be in court, or if they're walking into a presidency where he can get rid of them.
Oh, Nikki. We already know what we're walking into. We already know. First of all, we know what Trump was about his first 4 years. And I think he'll be better his next 4 years after witnessing all of this bull crap and figuring out how to deal with it. Number two, we already know that all the hell that they put Trump through the first time was bullcrap, and they're going to do it again this time. We already know that it's fake accusations, and we're going to have to tolerate folks screaming up at the sky, libs going crazy, fake news coming out talking about how can this guy who has been indicted 8 times still be the president. We already know. We expect screaming demons to start acting a fool when Jesus comes along and casts you out. See, now I'm not comparing Trump to Jesus, but I am comparing the Democrats to demons. That's what I am comparing. See, and so because I truly believe Trump is a vessel that God has anointed for this purpose, whether Trump knows it or not, they're reacting like demons. That's how they're reacting. They're like, man, if this man gets in, our whole we tried to infest the whole country with demonic possession. We're trying to go ahead and destroy the fabric of the country, demoralize the country. We're trying to do all of this, and this guy comes along and is placed right in the middle of this, and therefore our overreaction is like when somebody casts demons out. Their reaction is like that. And I'm sitting there like, wow. I mean, y'all were hiding low deep inside the exorcist girl. But all of a sudden, when they came in and said, the power of Christ compels you, snarl, head starts spitting up green stuff. Where's that coming from? Yeah, y'all had all that mess concealed for a while, and Trump came in, and all of a sudden, your reaction was like somebody just threw anointed oil all on a demonic possessed person. Couldn't even suppress it or hide it anymore. Trump's a Russian agent. This is ridiculous. We need to get rid of all of our... And I'm going, wow, that's an overreaction. What did we hit? Wasp nest. Let's continue listening to this demon right here.
Court case, voters are going to want to know that. And so I think that that's the part the Supreme Court needs to spell out is, okay, when are you going to give this verdict? What does that mean for people who have voted? And are they going to have full answers before the general election? That's going to be key. But this isn't just a
key to you, hopefully, being shooed in, right? That's what it is. That key to me, hopefully, being placed in there. I mean, how would you even feel if that's how you got in there? She probably would celebrate that. She probably would pretend that's a legit victory. And I'm saying, so you went however many states in 0. Well, 1. You got Washington. yeah. You're going to go lose all of these states, and then somehow, by default, you get in, and you're going to celebrate that? I mean, can you really do that? How would you feel about that? That's like the transgender guy getting in a race, smoking a bunch of girls, and then getting up on the stand. I'm number 1. And I'm going, you feel good about that? I mean, you cheated. Why are you celebrating? So here she is hoping for a default. She's hoping Trump twist an ankle. There you go. Go down so I don't have to really race him. And then go celebrate it. Yeah, I'm the victor.
About Trump. I would want this for Biden. I would want it for Clinton. I want it for Trump.
So in other words, I'm not a rhino, and I'm not just hoping that Trump gets eliminated by rushing this through. Look at me. I'm distributing the same thing. I would want that for Biden. Knowing that those people would never, ever get held accountable for their crimes. I mean, you're not stressing that. You're not saying we need to hurry up with the impeachment of Joe Biden. And we all need to know. We all need to know. This impeachment needs to happen like right away. Because we want to know if Joe Biden was taking money from Ukraine and getting all this money from China. We need to hurry up. Why are they? You're not rushing anything except for the decision on Trump. And they're going to try to lump in some other people to throw us off the scent. I smell your doo-doo. I smell it. Let's continue.
Be for any president, we need to make sure that no president ever thinks they're above the law. I understand.
Oh, God. So now it's down the stretch, y'all, with the tantrum tantrums, y'all. Here we go. They are upset, man, about the SCOTUS coming out saying, yeah, man, put this man back on the ballot. Listen to the left try to justify this mess.
One of the curious aspects of this decision
is your voice. One of the curious aspects of this decision is my big head on top of my little neck. That's what it should be. And that squeaky voice. But let's go ahead and listen to this man with this perm talk to us. Here we go.
That they waited until the day before Super Tuesday to drop it it puts the wind in Donald Trump's sails. He's already said it's a win. We'll hear a lot more from him. Why do that in the 24 hours before Super Tuesday?
Wait a minute. No, Little Richard is not trying to tell us that, why do that the day before Super Tuesday? Instead, we should have a fake trial the day before Super Tuesday. So let me get this straight. You're okay with a trial that obviously is picked the day before Super Tuesday in efforts to sway the election, but you're not okay with the Supreme Court coming out the day before Super Tuesday and letting everybody know, guys, don't worry about it. Go vote for who you want to because, yeah, everybody's going to be on a ballot. So what he's saying is he wanted the Supreme Court to go ahead and be silent about this and let Jack Smith have his way on Super Tuesday. You're not even questioning that date that they picked? Huh? But yet here he is. Why let?
In the media cycle around Super Tuesday, I would not have done that.
I bet
Feels too
you wouldn't.
political.
Oh, it seems political, but not Jack Smith trying to rush a trial date the day before Super Tuesday. That's not political at all. CNN, the fake news, baby. Fake as they come.
You could argue that there was a responsibility by the court to do that. Otherwise, those who may have voted for him Tuesday would be disenfranchised if indeed the ruling had not come in his favor, surely.
And that's exactly what they were hoping. They were hoping that people would go in and not be able to vote for Trump because he's off the ballots because the Supreme Court didn't make the decision. And Supreme Court is saying, well, wait, you guys always whining about voter suppression, disenfranchising voters. We wouldn't want the voters to not have the choice to vote now, would we? So we better go ahead and hurry up on this one. Yeah, instead of Jack Smith Day, we're going to have it SCOTUS Day. Well, we tell everybody, go out and vote. See, because what this dude was hoping, people in certain states will go in like, okay, all right, wait, I see Nikki Haley. I see Joe Biden. Excuse me, I think my ballot's messed up. I don't see Donald Trump on this. Oh, he's been removed off the ballot. That's what this bum cares about. And yet, of course, remember, the Democrats are defending democracy. So, yeah, there we go.
Isn't there an argument then?
That is an argument for having released this decision last week or the week before. The timing of the Supreme Court is now almost as important here in the United States as the substance of the decisions. And, of course, the place where this will really count. If they really believe that, they'll move fast on the immunity case because Americans also want to know, did Donald Trump commit alleged crimes? And can we get that case to trial? Just as can the Supreme Court can move quickly here, will they move quickly there? Another very important question. But I would have done this last week.
I bet you would have. Because you want to beat him using the justice system, the courts. Court warfare right here instead of beating him at the ballot box. What I would have done. Gonzo, that voice, what I would have done is, I bet you would have. Now, why aren't you applying that to Jack Smith? In their efforts to pick this date, why did they wait until all, coming down into an election year for all these prosecutions and all of that stuff and these indictments? Why didn't they wait? Why did they have to pick this year? Why did they have to pick a year where voting was going on in an election year? Why'd they do that? See, you're up here talking about, well, I would have done this, should have done it this date, and then all of that. Gonzo. See, goes to show. They're talking out the side of their neck. But wait, Trump got a message for him.
You're with CNN and you're fake news.
And how?
Larry, the Supreme Court.
Jimmy's back. Listen to this one. Look at this one. Look at these. These two right here. They're going to tag team on this fake narrative. Here we go.
Did not want to deal with this issue of whether or not Trump is an insurrectionist, but he keeps ginning up this insurrectionist-like rhetoric.
Like what? The Supreme Court didn't rule on whether he was an insurrectionist, so I'm going to go ahead and still emphasize to my audience that he's an insurrectionist by saying that he keeps ginning up this insurrectionist language. Like what? This rhetoric. Like what? I hear Trump all the time. I don't hear any bit of his language that sounds like it's insurrection language. What is that? What is that language? Can you define it? Or you want to be vague? You want to just go ahead and throw out a statement like that with this guy so y'all can have a punching session on Trump where nobody's punching back. You can just continue to throw out these fake lies and narratives without giving a real definitive explanation and example of what you're talking about.
Of course he does. He'll never change because it's worked for him.
He'll never change because it's worked for him. It did? Well, if it worked for him, he'd still be in the White House. That's my question. I mean, heck, how can you commit an insurrection against yourself? He was the president at the time the insurrection took place. So if it works for him, then he should have still been in the White House. He should have launched the insurrection with the military or something when he had control over it. But instead, he picks a whole bunch of people with MAGA hats and cell phones to launch his insurrection. That's what and then afterwards, he's still with all of his rhetoric and stuff. That means we should all overthrow the government by now. All right, we failed the first one on J6, guys, but we're going to run it back. So what is this dude talking about? But see, this is what it is, man. CNN. They get a chance to get up there and just throw stuff out like this with no pushback, because that would be my first question. Well, wait a minute. It's been working for him. It don't look like it. The man got on the chopper and flew off. He didn't go ahead and post up in the White House with the military. So how's it working for him? He's coming back and he's beating y'all in spite of all of your fake efforts to stop him. And you're talking about it's working for him. No, it's not working for y'all, the real insurrectionists. That's what it is.
And it may work again. In the end, Jim.
How? It may work again. What does that mean? And it may work again. What, meaning that he might win and get back in? So let me understand. He won the first time, and surely you wouldn't be denying that now, would you? The legitimacy of that, because then you'd be an insurrectionist. So he won legitimately the first time. He lost the second time and left the White House. How did that insurrection work for him? How did it benefit him? And now you're saying, and it might work again. With what? The same results? I mean, if that's what you're declaring as it worked, then that's not good. I mean, maybe he needs to plan it out a little better. Help people out with some type of weapons or something to go in there. But no, nothing. Nothing. Just go ahead in there and hopefully it'll work out for the best. What is this dude talking about? See, so there's he'll probably hoping it works again.
You can't save the people from themselves.
Like we try to do with CNN and MSNBC. Yeah, my strap came off because I got upset. Dang on, I'm going with the one strap like BBD. Boys to Men, BBD, all of that stuff. That girl is poison. So anyway, getting back to this. You hear that guy? Yeah. Oh, man. See, I got distracted that quick. Good grief. My ADHD kicked in. All right, what did he say? Here we go.
Save the people from themselves.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. You know what, Jim? So now that's an insult to all of us. You know what, Jim? You can't save the people. So what is it about all of these millions of people who want Trump in there? You're telling me all of us are defected? All of us right now are, just completely absorbed and brainwashed by Trump to where we're like, we want a criminal in office. We want a dictator in office. You know what? We're obviously seeing Trump as a dictator, but we want one anyway. We think that'll work out for us. If we wanted a dictator, we'd vote for Joe Biden. If we wanted a dictator, we'd vote for the Democrat Party. But yet here he is talking about you can't save the people from themselves, like y'all try to do by shielding your audience from the truth, lying to them, manipulating them, making them think Trump's a Russian agent, and he wasn't. Making everybody think that Trump called all of these World War I veterans stupid and all of that stuff, and he didn't. All the lies y'all have told on Trump and never corrected, never came out to your audience and said, we've been lying on Trump this whole time. Yeah. Or when Trump is speaking, y'all just pop up and say, you know what, we're going to go ahead and cut off right now because the former president's lying again. We don't want you guys to hear it because we're saving you. We're sparing you from yourselves. Unreal.
they're determined to reelect him after he organized that insurrection, arguably our first coup d'etat, then there's...
Organize the insurrection. But you still can't tell me how. This is crazy. When you say a word like organize, that means it was planned from start to finish. You brought people together and communicated to these people the plan. So what are you talking about? You're contradicting your statement to the facts we all know about. How can you organize an insurrection without telling the people the plan and without having some elements that represent an insurrection, like weapons? Something. That's not a very good organized plan right there. Just go in there with your cell phones and hats. Hopefully it works out. Oh, by the way, I'm letting you all know, walk over and let your voices peacefully be heard. All right? That's how you start it. That's how you start the insurrection, baby. By going over there and letting your voices peacefully be heard. But you know the dog whistle means. Go in there. Yeah, hang Mike Pence. Kill Nancy Pelosi. So let's hear this guy continue to lie to us because he's trying to make us think that Trump started an insurrection, organized it, and what else?
There's nothing to stop the people from doing that.
Yeah, except for you corrupt people who want to really destroy democracy. See, there's nothing to stop the people from doing it. In other words, we don't like a republic. We don't like the will of the people. We've been trying to stop the people from doing this. That's what we've been trying to do, not because of Trump being an insurrectionist, not because Trump being a threat to democracy, because he's a threat to our power. That's why we're trying to stop him. We can't tell y'all that, though. We can't tell y'all that. We got to tell y'all we're trying to save y'all from yourselves. But we already know that's a lie. Let's continue.
Now, in particular, the legal system may intervene, but I doubt it. He'll probably, he's certainly going to be on the ballot. He's certainly going to be the Republican nominee. We'll know that for sure tomorrow if we don't already know it. And that's the way it is. You know, the Donald Trump has had a run of great luck in several different dimensions. Although, Jim, both...
Great luck? You hear that? See, the only reason he's making that statement is because he knows how much fake prosecution and persecution that they have dropped on him. And somehow he's managed to get through all of that. Yeah, knowing all of the stuff y'all have tried, to them, that's luck. To me, it's favor. I'm like, that's nothing but grace and favor. But yet, these people are, how in the world did he do it? After 4 indictments? And yet, Supreme Court steps in, prolongs this, declares he could be on this, and then Fannie screws up. I mean, how lucky is this guy? Jeez, oh man. We tried to sabotage him from day one, and somehow he has made it through. He's Teflon Don. So this guy's calling it luck. But he's saying that luck is going to change. Here we go.
Both of us have been around a long time, and we both know the worm always turns. Sometimes the worm turns repeatedly during a...
And it appears that you're speaking for yourself. The worm has turned on y'all, on Fannie Willis, on Jack Smith, and I hope it turned on Queen Latifah. And it's definitely turning on the fake news, CNN, because of all your lies. Now y'all talking about laying off folks. See, I think the worm is turning, but not on Trump.
A presidential campaign. So I don't think one candidate's good luck will hold for 8 full months. Always turns an effective attack around.
He's hoping. I'm praying to God that something happened in these last 8 months. We need a miracle. Don't be getting all spiritual. Talking about, I'm looking for a miracle. Not that kind of miracle. We don't get no miracles to nasty, stinking folks like you guys. All right, but now, here he is. Watch this, listen to this one.
He's the one who has threatened democracy.
Trump's the one that's threatened democracy? But Trump just said is who?
He's the one who organized a potential coup d'etat.
A potential? How do you organize a potential coup d'etat? You can't just say it because you might be held liable for a false statement. He's the one that, launched a potential. How do you launch a potential coup d'etat? But now, what happened is And somebody said, just sub to Kev's other channel. Thank you. But what happened is Trump said that it's Joe Biden. And this guy thinks that's funny. He thinks that's funny.
Not Joe Biden, but now it's Joe Biden, according to Donald Trump, who's a threat to democracy.
Well, let's see. Let's see how that could possibly be. How could you conclude that? Well, could it be that Fannie Willis, Jack Smith, Queen Latifah, Adam, Fat Albert, all of them, Alan Bragg or Alex, whatever his name is, all of them, all coordinated with the White House? We see that they've all visited there and stuff, and then somehow came up with all these magical prosecutions and stuff like that, when y'all said the White House doesn't know anything about it and they're not involved in it? Or could it be that Biden also encouraged them to go ahead and move quickly on this? Could it be that? Could it be the fact that the DOJ and all of them are going after their political opponent and trying to jail him? And you're talking about, he's saying that Biden is a threat to democracy. Well, could it be that his FBI and his DOJ are plotting, trying to make sure that Trump supporters are flagged and intimidated and jailed for being up there? Could it be all of that? That seems more of a threat to democracy to me.
I'd laugh if it weren't so sad.
And I would laugh if you weren't lying so much right now. And we know it. All that projection you just threw up on the screen. So guys, the last person we're going to laugh at today before we wrap it up is...
look, unfortunately for America...
Listen to this statement.
The court...
Unfortunately for America. Listen to what she's saying is unfortunate for America.
Isn't necessarily wrong that this is the way the framers wanted it to be.
Well, look at that. It's unfortunate for America that the Supreme Court wasn't necessarily wrong, because this is what the framers wanted it to be. In other words, we want something different than the framers. We think it's unfortunate that the Supreme Court has held up the will of the framers, because we're trying to tear that frame apart. That's what we're trying to do. So it's unfortunate that the ruling actually supports the Constitution, because we're trying to rip that up. We're trying to use that for toilet paper, man. You already know how we roll. That Constitution got us constipated. It's jamming us up for our tyranny, man. Dang on it. So it's unfortunate that they ruled this way.
They wanted Congress, the people who are closest to their constituents, to be able to make the rules of the laws.
And that's bad. That's bad. That's bad for them. We want it just to fall into the hands of a few, judges or, people like that, that just decide for everybody. That's what we want it to do. We want us, the 1%, the elitists, to be able to determine what's good for the people or not the people.
Court is evident in what they are doing with the pacing here.
It is frustrating to me that the idea that the U.S. Supreme Court is going to be delaying this trial.
It's a bad look for them.
Is that bad?
It's a very bad to have taken this.
It is an unmistakable sign from the MAGA majority of the Trump-created court.
There's the man with the little hands. It's an unmistakable sign. So let's see, what is it?
That they are with him.
There is a lot tonight to be pessimistic about.
Some of the justices simply want to assist Donald Trump in delaying the resolution of this case.
Pencil neck. Watermelon shaped face. Cry, babies, cry.
In the hope of pushing his trial off past the election.
And I am beyond terrified, Nicole, right now for our country.
You're beyond fake. That's what you are. Fake outrage. Are you really terrified? You ain't got nothing to be terrified about, man. Okay, you're a liberal. Rarely does anything happen to y'all. Bottom line, okay? If anything, all of us are concerned when we see what the FBI has been doing and the DOJ has been doing. But here you are. I'm really terrified. The MAGA. Oh, and look at Poodle. Poodle up top that done slick that poodle down. The wet poodle up top now. Got something to say?
Can't put all of our hopes in the Supreme Court. The people need to be engaged and aroused at this point.
Aroused? What kind of language is that? This is the same guy I think might have been talking about some of the erection instead of answering. Yeah, the erection that took place.
Demand that there be justice.
Appeals court gives a...
Here we go. This is the last big fat baby. And this is a big old baby Huey right here. Y'all see baby Huey? Sitting up there with that afro.
He might as well be sucking his thumb right about now, but that thumb's too fat to fit in that mouth. That man got a novelty thumb. He got a hand that looks like he did the cartoon, blew up his fist. So let's hear Fat Fist. What do you got to say? Here's Fat Fist.
Bulletproof ruling, as Dahlia says, and they still decide to take it up.
What it says is that they are corrupted political actors who act in bad faith. The reason
not Jack Smith. No. Not Fady Willis. No. Not Judge Algaran or whatever his name is. No, not the J6 committee. All of them are legit. All of them are legit. Queen Latifah, the whole nasty crew are all legit. They're not corrupt at all. They're not corrupt at all. But these Supreme Court justices are corrupt now that they didn't side against Trump. Yeah, just because they just said, no, we're going to go ahead and let this all play out. Now they're corrupt because they're blocking your efforts of stopping Trump without beating him legitimately. Because they're giving the American people the choice to pick their own candidate. Now all of a sudden they're corrupt. Says the corrupt baby Huey that's sitting up here with that big fat hand trying to tell us about the Supreme Court being corrupt. It's only corrupt when y'all can't control it. When y'all get control of it, then all of a sudden it's legit.
The reason why people like Mark and people like Dahlia seem to have a crystal ball is because they're real, because they're realists, and they understand the court for what it is. And
you look like a Christmas ball sitting up there, a crystal ball. Dang on it, I should rub you. All right, that crystal. Oh, wait, this is a human? I thought it was a crystal ball. It's built like one.
At some point, people in the media, people at home, and people sitting in the White House have to stop pretending that the Supreme Court is some kind of benign, trying to do its best institution and start to realize that there are 6 Republicans, not conservatives, Republicans on the Supreme Court who view it as their job to help the Republican Party.
So now what should we do about this? Huh, Professor Clump? Huh, Bookman? Huh? Rerun? What should we do about this? So now here he is saying that the Supreme Court got activists. Now that's odd because we all know liberals are activists. We know they do not rule often based on the Constitution, but on their agenda or feelings or whatever. But here he is talking about, we got to do something. So listen to this man's suggestion.
And until we do something about that, until we take away that power, until we draw the line on them there, they will continue to do this. They will help Trump. They will take away abortion rights. They will end affirmative action.
All of that.
They will liberalize gun rights. They will do all of it until we stop them. And somebody needs to start listening.
You need to simmer down, big boy. Simmer down there, big boy. You don't want to give yourself a heart attack. Why you going crazy like that? And why you got the big cotton ball on top of your head, eh, boy? You need to cut that mess off. Dang on it, you look like a bunny in the bush. Here he is up here talking about, we need to stop it. We need to stop. Do it. How? What do you want to do? Get rid of the Supreme Court? See, now all of a sudden, your real agenda is starting to surface. If we can't control it, burn it down. There it is. If we can't have power, burn it all to the ground.
In the higher echelons of the Democratic Party, because we will keep losing every day we allow these 6 Republicans in robes to rule over all of us.
Yeah, instead we want a creepy, stinking corpse ruling over all of us with his creepy, corrupt cabinet and the rest of the Democrats. We want them ruling all over us, right? We want a few individuals in liberal cities making decisions for all of the people. Yeah, instead of the will of the people. That's what he's really arguing for. He's mad that the Supreme Court justice has not been corrupted at this point by the Democrats. If they controlled it, they wouldn't be talking about expanding the courts. They wouldn't be talking about it's illegitimate. Everything would be legitimate. Just like they claimed their J6 committee with 2 rhinos on it was legitimate because they picked that mess. They put that together. But if it was reversed, it's illegitimate. It's an illegitimate court and all that stuff. But we're going to close because Jesse Waters has summed it up perfectly why they're all acting like this.
So last night was election night for them.
Yeah.
And they lost, Greg.
Mm-hmm.
You could see the emotion because they have put all of their eggs in this basket of lawfare. And now they're realizing that the judges of the Supreme Court aren't on their schedule.
Oh,
They all mad, y'all. They put them eggs all in that basket, and we saw it. That's the great part about it. Every time they would come up with something they thought was going to stick, they celebrated. They talked about it week after week. Yeah, y'all. Trump's been indicted 4 times. How's he going to get it? You know what? This really is going to kill him in the polls. I mean, this man is probably going to go to jail. I mean, look at that. Jack Smith, man, he's a beast. And you know what? Fannie Willis is right on his trail. She's a strong black woman. And look at that. And you know what? One more indictment. I thought the walls are closing in. They put their eggs in that basket, and now all of a sudden the Supreme Court jumped all on that basket, mashing all those eggs. Looking at it while you're doing it too. Huh? You like that? You like that? Now eat those eggs. How you like those rotten eggs? So, Jesse, that's why they're whining, because their eggs are smashed. Let's continue.
And so they're realizing that Joe Biden might have to win this himself.
Boy, fat chance of that. What do you mean you're not going to make me president again? You did it the first time with our most comprehensive voter fraud program that we put together. You're going to do it again, right? Oh, but I think that one might, unfortunately, not be able to be done again twice.
That's what you saw last night. Them realizing that this is going to be a free and fair election to a certain extent, where it's going to be mano a mano, and you're not going to have judges and lawyers screwing around with everything.
Yeah. Jesse, you are reading them, Jesse, because that's what they wanted to avoid. They already know if we leave it up to the will of the people, we're going to get trounced. And I don't think it's enough cheating to get them over the finish line this time with the ballots and all of that mess. Okay. I mean, if they pull that off twice without the Republicans having a plan to expose that mess, then they deserve to lose. I would have investigators and spies at every voter location in the whole U.S. I would have people sitting there with binoculars. I would have investigators on the scene making sure that these people don't do nothing. I would have spy cameras. I would have people going in there with this little button right here as a spy camera, and I take pictures of it. Why is this guy standing here moving around robotically inside of the voter plate? I would go ahead and make sure that these folks are not pulling any more shenanigans. See? So hopefully they are prepping for that. Because the Democrats, man, they're going to try to cheat. I mean, all of these things that they were putting their eggs in, all these baskets they were putting their eggs in, are all falling apart. So now they're probably like, oh man, now we got, okay, is it enough ballots that we can come up with to even, because he's getting beat to death. You want Joe Biden to go one-on-one with Trump? Come on, man. So Jesse, finish.
Because they've been trying to persuade a handful of judges instead of 150 million voters.
Beautifully put, Jesse. Beautifully put. We don't want to go to the ballot box. Why do that when we can go ahead and have a few corrupt, evil judges mixed with some corrupt, evil prosecutors and stuff like that? Just a small group of evil folks that all happen to be liberal. This is not political, though. But they all happen to be liberal that are trying to stop a conservative candidate. And we're not supposed to look at that and say, this is politically motivated. It only hurts conservative voters. Only hurts us. So we're not supposed to take that personal. Of course we are. And they're mad about it. That's why they don't want to leave it up to the voters. Not even their own voters. They don't even want their own voters voting against Biden. They went ahead and said, since we're supporting democracy, we're going to make sure that y'all can't even vote for anybody else but Biden. And yet they're the defenders of democracy.
That's what they do. That's why they get so hysterical when you have Supreme Court nominations. That's why they go to mattresses for someone like Kavanaugh. Remember, that's how their agenda happens. It's all in the courts.
And that's what's killing them, because they haven't taken possession of the Supreme Court. That is why you heard all of them. The Supreme Court is siding with MAGA. The Supreme Court is illegitimate. That's why you hear them coming out trying to talk about some dang on Clarence Thomas needs to recuse himself. For what? Because
because he's a legitimate Supreme Court justice that can see through our bull crap, and he hasn't been corrupted. Did I say that out loud? That's why. And see, they're hoping, let us get our corrupt knuckles on that Supreme Court, and boy, we in trouble. Thank God that Trump won, because if Hillary would have got those POTUS picks, oh my goodness, I think that was the biggest blow to them of all. Can you imagine if Crooked would have won? Out of all the things that Trump did that was great, getting those Supreme Court justices, even though some of them are a little flaky sometimes, but boy, you know how worse it would be if she would have picked 3 Supreme Court justices?
It's very rarely legislatively. So when you have someone like Trump come in and beat Hillary, those were Hillary's 3 Supreme Court nominations.
Yes.
That would have changed the future of the country. That would have fundamentally transformed America. They don't have that now. And now they're freaking out about it.
Ain't that the truth, Jesse? That would have destroyed us completely. It would have been the end of the world as we know it. So now they're adjusting and they're mad. They're like, all right, now we need to either get rid of the Supreme Court justice or we need to go ahead and expand it until we have the majority and then stop expanding it. Because you know that's exactly what would happen. And if they had control of that Supreme Court, no way getting them people off of there. Imagine if they had the Supreme Court, the House, the Senate, and the White House. They would lock everybody down when it comes down to those that do not vote for them. They would pass legislation to attack speech. Say speech, but we determine that. They would pass legislation to get our guns. They would pass legislation that opens up the border. They would run the table on liberal, crazy, progressive policies that would just, we'd have to go for asylum. We'd all have to leave for asylum. They would be saying your kids are not your kids. We control those kids now. We'll teach them everything we want to teach them in schools. We'll drop all kind of porn that we ourselves don't want to listen to in school board meetings, but we're going to subject your kids to it. We'll have all kind of quack doctors come in and tell your kids that what you're feeling on the inside is natural. Yeah, you know, you can be whatever you want to be. And if your mom and dad don't like it, we'll take you from them. These folks would unleash crime in our city. It would be a mess. They would be unabated because we got feckless, weak Republicans that probably wouldn't stand up to them or would be a part of the Uniparty. There you go. But now we got a shot. Let's see what we do with it. We got a second win. Let's see what we do with it. If we blow it this time, man, if we sit back and do stupid stuff and don't prep for what we know is coming, that's what kills me. I'm like, you know how corrupt these people are. You know how desperate they are to win. Y'all need to make better decisions on countering what we all know is coming. If they done failed with these court trials, with the exception of trying to tap Trump's pockets, they're going to try to make adjustments now. Like, oh, you mean to tell me Alvin Bragg and his stuff don't even matter. But Fannie and Jack in the Box, that's a blow. That's a blow. How do we deal with that? That's why they're whining. That's why these demons are acting a fool. Because, yeah, they're 2 valuable weapons that they were relying on. Now is imploding. So, right now, all we got to do, if things don't change, if no surprises come up, is secure the election locations. That's going to be crucial. Making sure they don't just mysteriously drop ballots in the middle of the night. They don't have raggedy machines, all of this stuff. They don't try to change voting laws or some mysterious something falls out of the sky a week or 2 before the elections. And now everybody got to stay in the house. But that's how desperate they are. So we need to prep for that mess. And that's why I'm here, to try to bring it to everybody's attention. Now, God bless y'all. Hey, Crazy Chick Sheena, I got a question. You mentioned, when I mentioned Gizmo and I might breed him, you asked if I would send puppies to Ireland. Are you in Ireland? For some reason, I thought you was in the States, but you mentioned Ireland. So I'm just wondering. Because if you're in the States and I do breed Gizmo, I can get you one. But Ireland, I was like, wait, is she from Ireland?
Good question. So if you feel like disclosing that, because I got questions now. I'm like, how is Ireland? I need to know. So I like knowing people who are, what? Well, you're in Ennis? Is that pronounced Ennis? Ennis, Ireland? How cool is that? So you be checking out the channel all the way from Ireland. Wow. I got millions of questions, but we'll ask that some other day. Yeah, so hey guys, we got a viewer from Ireland. Been watching the show forever, and for some reason I thought she was from like the West Coast or something. But how cool. So thanks for disclosing that. Now, yeah, if you ever come to the States, yeah, but I don't think you can ship dogs over. Hey, maybe you can, I don't know. Anyway, so but Gizmo is sitting here looking at me, and I may breed him. I'm tempted to buy him a girlfriend. I'm thinking about it. We'll see. I don't know if he can handle it, yo. I don't know if he can handle it. He's so used to being by himself and getting all the attention. It might turn into a domestic situation. I'd be like, you two fighting again? Yeah. But anyway, so God bless y'all. God bless America. Thanks for hanging out with me tonight. I know we went a little long. We almost hit the 2-hour mark. And boy, I tell you, the voice is paying the price. I got the Whoopi Goldberg right about now. But please hit that like button, share my videos. And thank you all that are subscribing to my alternative channel. I am going to check that. Hopefully we can crack 1,000. I can start doing some live streams there. I am going to be getting back on Facebook. And I really need to do some stuff over there on Rumble too. I need to broaden my reach here because of what's going on with this channel being suppressed. But you guys are keeping it in business. You can also do that by, of course, texting the number on your screen, 330-974-4607. Text MAGA to that so you can stay connected with me just in case something happened. And then if you want to support the channel financially, you can do that through my Cash App. No, wait, not Cash. Well, you can do it through Cash App, but my fundraising link is right below this video. You can click on that and help out. Or you can just go ahead to the store, Kevin's Corner, and, grab some items there. Other than that, y'all, it's time to get out of here. Got to go wet my whistle because my throat's done had it. Exposing this crap makes me sick. Makes you sick too, Gizmo? Where's my other strap? I done got out my strap. Forget it. Yeah. See y'all next time. Kevin's Corner. Take care.